Hi guys, so this is my blog. Um, Here's my introduction. It just basically talks about why I wanted to make this blog, and my critical thinking question is right here. And then I added a side note about the two different ways of spelling deaf with a lowercase d and uppercase d. They basically mean different things in the deaf community. You should definitely read it. This is just a picture of the American Sign Language alphabet, just so you can get oriented. And this is three of my peer feedbacks that just tell me about how what they thought about my blog and their comments. This is my second most recent reflection that I wrote in December, and it basically just talks about how I clarified what I wanted to study and how I was pretty confused in my last reflection, and I'm a little more clear now. This is my interview reflection and analysis. I interviewed my friend's mom, whose sister was deaf, or still is deaf, and we basically had a great conversation. This sort of talks about what we talked about and how I felt about it and what it meant to what I'm studying. This is a couple more feedback from peers. This is my earlier reflection. Sorry, I'm kind of moving backwards here. This is what I wrote in November about kind of what I've been doing, and just I was a little bit unclear of what I wanted to work on moving forward in the project, and I kind of wanted to move away from cochlear implants and more towards sign language, and that's how I was feeling then. This is my book review on the book The Hands of My Father. It's a great book. I encourage everybody to read it, and these are just my feelings and how it relates back to what I'm studying, and I recommend it to everybody, not just people who are interested in the deaf community. So I revised my personal statement. I kept the first part because I felt it still sort of reflected on how I got into sign language, and I basically felt the same way about. I just went through and corrected some minor details, and then I rewrote the entire section about what I wanted to study and what career path I wanted to be, because I am much more clear on that now. And I changed the fear that I had, because my fear before when I wrote this was entering the deaf community, and I have now entered the deaf community, and it was much less scary than I thought it was going to be, so that was really interesting to reflect back on. This is my observation that I did of the deaf community. I went to St. Benedict's Parish Church for the Deaf, and it was very interesting. Basically, the first few paragraphs describe where it was, what it was like, and then I then kind of reflected and analyzed what it was like to be there and some things that happened while I was there. This is an article that I found about baby sign, which is basically just a new phenomenon about mothers teaching their babies sign language, their hearing babies sign language before they can talk, because it is a form of communication and is known to reduce fits and temper tantrums. And that just kind of relates back to a political cartoon that I have posted earlier. This is an article that I talked about in my analysis of two articles, and it's about why deaf people don't feel that they need to be fixed, and that cochlear implants are often pushed on deaf people when they don't want them to be. This is an article that sort of shows talks about, or is pro cochlear implants, is kind of the other side of my argument in this previous article's argument. This video is really great video. I recommend everybody watch it. It advocates for American Sign Language, but there is also it talks about other forms of communication, but it basically focuses on how important sign language can be in a deaf child's life and how it can really help the bonding between a parent and a child, and communication is really important, and it's just a very moving video, and I recommend everybody watches it. This is my political cartoon. It just talks about, it's basically addressing baby sign, and it talks about, or it's showing a baby, a hearing baby who's signing, and a deaf baby who has handcuffs on and is sad because it's titled The Greatest Irony. It's basically saying that the hearing baby gets to hear and use sign before it can talk, whereas the deaf baby often doesn't get any language skills until way later in their life. And it's basically just saying that it's ironic that hearing babies are now beginning to sign, whereas deaf babies don't get to at all, sometimes, in certain cases. And finally, this is my two articles reflection, or I don't know what it was called. It was the first assignment we did for this project, and it's basically just comparing and contrasting the two articles, Not All Deaf People Want to Be Fixed, and Teaching a Deaf Child Her Mother's Tongue. So yeah, that's my blog. Thanks.